Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Movie Mortis, or Movie Madness Lives. My name is Nick, and it's time for a review of Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die, directed by Gore Verbinski, best known for Pirates of the Caribbean, and written by Matthew Robinson, best known for Love and Monsters. Quick disclaimer, this review will contain minor spoilers, but I assure you nothing too big, just very minor spoilers. This absolutely bonkers film follows a man from the future simply called the Man from the Future, played by Sam Rockwell. He gathers a few people from a diner and takes them on a mission to stop an evil AI from destroying the future. Right off the bat, this film is a dark comedy with some social commentary, and it's handled interestingly. It's a film that talks about AI and modern society's constant reliance and use of technology. And the film doesn't necessarily preach at you. If anything, it kind of delivers its social commentary in a fun and absurd way. An example of this is when they make an absolutely original observation of saying like, oh, people who are on their phones too much are just like zombies. But they take that exact statement and make a joke out of it. No, not just a joke, but a plot device of it. Like, there are actually teens in the movie who are addicted to their phones, and they actually act like a freaking hive mind of, like, you know, zombies, and they go after anyone who so much as bothers them. Or, again, they act like actual zombies in the movies, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's actually clever. The film never really preaches at you or makes you feel bad. Though granted though, I did feel a bit guilty when I looked at my phone after the movie or took some notes on it for the sake of this review. I swear I was taking notes on my phone when I rewatched this movie. Trust me, taking notes helps with reviews. There are some critics who do that with movies. There was a moment in this film where I was appalled, but in a very funny way. Like, the film touches on school shootings and how society at large doesn't care too much for human life. In the film's universe, there is a government-funded organization where every time a kid dies in a school shooting, they replace them with a clone that is just a soulless husk who sometimes spouts out an advertisement read because apparently the parent didn't pay for a premium plan. It's very dark and ridiculous, but I found it kind of funny. This would be very inappropriate for an ad placement right now if we were sponsored. Again, the social commentary is handled well, but sometimes it can lean a little too much into that old boomer mindset, oh, phone is bad. But honestly, of how much AI is getting tossed around in society, this film is actually really relevant and commentates on it in a very fun way without getting too preachy and in your face, making you feel bad as a human being. For the rest of the film's comedy, I say it's pretty funny. Aside from its jabs on modern society and technology, some of the comedy comes from the banter between the characters and the overall absurdity of the whole situation the characters find themselves in. The characters are pretty well-rounded and interesting characters. They have nice personalities and they were just really fun to watch. And the casting was really great. But the star of the show would happen to be the Man from the Future. Sam Rockwell's performance is great. He portrays the Man from the Future as a very eccentric and idiosyncratic man. He still takes the job seriously, but his mannerisms and tone kind of make him like a mad scientist-like figure, or someone in retail who's just constantly training new newbies every now and then. It's just kind of getting tired of it, like, oh, please do something right for once. Some other characters that stood out to me include Susan, played by Juno Temple, Ingrid, played by Haley Lou Richardson, and Scott, played by Asim Chaudhry. And I'm not saying everyone else is forgettable. I mean, if anything, everyone in this film delivered their A game. Even side characters, just characters who just weren't in the film for a long time, did an incredible performance. The story itself is a very adventurous film as the characters go around a small neighborhood and try to reach a house in the suburbs that is home to the creator of this rogue AI. While it doesn't sound like much, the film makes it feel pretty big in scope. And we also see the backstories to some of the characters who not only end up playing an important role in the story, but also help build the world of the film as well. And honestly, it's an interesting story that kept me watching. And it's also very rewatchable as well because I noticed there are some things I missed in my first watch and I'm like, huh, I missed that. The set designs are also really cool, and some of my favorite sets were the diner and the parking garage at night. The diner for just being a very nice backdrop for an LA night, and the parking garage because I really liked the grimy and dark tone of the whole atmosphere within the garage. The whole film not only looks nice on its sets, but in terms of costume designs and visual effects, it looks great. And the CGI is really worth commenting because for a mid-budget movie, it looks really cool. And there are some times where the CGI is made to look like that uncanny valley mixed range quality that comes from generative AI, which I think fits very appropriately in this film because, after all, this film does deal with artificial intelligence. The film's score, composed by Jeff Zanelli, is also noteworthy. The soundtrack has this feeling of making you feel like you're in an illogical situation. It's perfect for such an absurd film like this. Not to say the whole soundtrack is just an absurd amalgamation of weirdness. It does sound like music, but it gives the right feeling for a sci-fi adventure with a lot of weird and out there concepts. Overall, Good Luck, Have Fun, Don't Die is a really weird film, but it's a weird film I enjoyed. It's absurd, adventurous, and an overall good time. It's a real shame this movie didn't do well on its theatrical release. It came out in 2025 and premiered at Fantastic Fest, but it didn't get a theatrical release until 2026, where it competed with Wuthering Heights, Iron Lung, and Send Help. It also had a huge lack of marketing and a limited release and not a lot of time in the theaters. Unfortunately, this film bombed at the box office, which was a real shame because this is a really good and fun film, and hopefully this film will live on as a cult classic because I had a lot of fun with this film. It's a fun sci-fi film that tackles its social commentary in a fun and very absurd manner. This movie is weird, but if I'm being honest, we need more movies like this. And that's why it gets a good recommendation from me. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, be sure to give it a thumbs up and like the video. Comment down below what you thought of this movie, what you thought of this review, and follow the socials and follow our podcasts here on YouTube and Spotify and Apple Music, Amazon Music, and iHeartRadio. And most importantly, subscribe to Movie Mortis for more movie madness.